What's up, everybody? This is Dan Physics from Ex Machina Soundworks here in Brooklyn, New York, and today we're here with TouchTone DSG. Man, how you doing?
I'm well. I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. It's a great you're here. I've been wanting to talk to you for a while, ever since your YouTube review that you did. It was like, oh man, that's just a cool review. so,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I guess just we can get straight into it. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started in music production.
So my background, I've been doing music for 20 plus years, easy. And how I got started in it is I was a rapper first. And I wanted better beats. And I would go to people. And back then, there was like ridiculous charges for certain types of beats. So I decided to start making beats myself. And I realized I was really, really good at it. And I started making beats for other people and kind of left the rap behind. And then I started chasing sound because at that time, back in 2007, 5, around that time, even 2004, the Neptunes, Dr. Dre, Timberland, they were like dominating the radio. And one thing I noticed is that they all had their specific sound and they sounded so professional. So that's what I was chasing, was that professional sound. Then I seen that there was like a glass ceiling that I had hit as far as knowledge wise. So at that point, I decided to go to school for audio engineering at the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences. And once I did that, that was a door, or more than one door, open for me because I had the knowledge piece behind it. Um, Fast forward, started working with different artists over the years, and decided to open my own studio. The thing about the music industry at that time is that it became more accessible. So back in I want to say my day, but back in 2004, 2005, um, if you wanted to get into the music industry, it was very, very costly, especially for audio engineering, music production. All those things were very costly. Around like 2012, 2013, things started to change because laptops became more powerful. DAWs started to see a big rise and dominancy. So it switched, it shifted. So music became more accessible, which is a good thing to me. And sometimes it could be a bad thing, but whatever. So at that time, I decided to open my own studio, and it was out of a room in my house, kind of like I'm doing now, and started working with a bunch of local artists. Getting my I understood the internet was going to be very important going forward. So I started to establish myself on the internet and create a bigger presence. And that's kind of where I've been ever since. And that's what I do.
Hmm. Cool. Well, so what were some of your early influences?
Early influences in music would be probably like Steely Dan, Queen, um, Ray Charles, Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones, Dr. Dre, Indicable Planets, the Neptunes, Swiss Beats, um, Manny Fresh for sure. Uh, man, there's so many. Uh, Whitney Houston, love her chops. Um, Aaliyah, Genuine. Oh, Missy Elliott, can't forget Missy. Missy was a big influence on me. I love that style. Um, Alchemist was another one. Um, uh, Jeez, there's a lot. That's such a hard question because I'm
Sure. No,
influenced by a lot, man.
sure.
I love all the different genres of music. You know,
Hmm.
yeah. Freddie Mercury was another one with his songwriting skill and just kind of how he hooked you. Um, Man, yeah. Yeah, I'll probably say there, go there.
Okay, that's good. No, that's a great answer. I know it can be tough. Like it's always a difficult question for me to answer too. It's like, well, where do I start?
Yeah, yeah.
uh, well, so can you tell us about a project you're particularly proud of and what made it special?
Um, there's a couple, but one project that I'm pretty proud of was back in 2020. I mixed, produced, mastered, even wrote some of the record for an artist named Mickey Zobel. The album is called Godsend. That's GAWD Send. And that was something we collaborated on. And the reason that it was so special is that it happened during the pandemic. So it was just a weird time for everyone. But we didn't want to sit idly by and just do nothing. So that was the first project that I did remote with an artist, and learned a lot more about being hands on for a whole album instead of just mixing, or instead of just producing, was part of the arrangement, part of the sound, part of the direction. And we did that project and hit it out of the park. Uh, and that was one of the reasons that led me to start releasing my own music, that went viral and blew up on Spotify and whatnot, was because of that album.
Got it. So how would you describe your approach or philosophy to music production or mixing?
Um, my approach is, when it comes to music production, I don't go in with any intent, unless I'm working with the artist and they have a particular record that influenced them to write a specific way or to even feel a specific way, and we collab and we do that. But most times I go in with no angle, no prerequisites, and I just let the universe flow through me, and whatever comes out comes out. And as far as mixing, I once again, I don't have any philosophies when it comes to mixing. I listen to what it needs, what it's telling me. Um, if an artist sends me over a record that they kind of touched up, I try to keep their vision in mind. I don't completely destroy it, but I want to see, what I need to clean up and how I can enhance the record. Let's enhance that vision. What do I need to do for
Hmm,
that to be the best version of itself? That's really it.
cool. Well, I guess that can lead into the next one. So can you explain how Ex Machina speakers have impacted your work?
Oh man. So the way that they've impacted me was a match quality with quality. So I say this: I had a different interface a couple months back, which was the SSL Big Six. Prior to the Big Six, I had a different set of monitors. Once I got the Ex Machinas, it revealed to me the limitations of what I was using. So the SSL Big Six is still really good, but the Ex Machina showed its limitations. So then I upgraded my interface to something that's higher quality, more transparent. And when I hear my music now through the Ex Machinas, I feel like that's the way it's supposed to be heard. So now when I make my decisions, it's not like the Ex Machinas is going to make you a better mixer. If you're not a good mixer, you're not a good mixer, and that's just what it is. But what it does, it reveals my decisions to me so much more clear, and I'm able to make those decisions faster. So I can get more done and trust myself and knowing that it's done. So these are the first monitors that, when I send out a version one, the client likes it. It's like, hey, that's translating to the car, that's translating on headphones, that's translating on all my sources. I send it out to the client and they love it. They love the vision. Unless it's something like, hey, you know what? On this part, let's turn down the reverb. But it's nothing like, hey, there's these frequencies poking out here. It's nothing like that anymore. So yeah.
Could you share an instance where using Ex Machina speakers made a noticeable difference in your production or mixing process?
Yeah. So I put out a record on YouTube, just a single, and it was a Christmas lo-fi record prior to getting um, these monitors, and then I put out another record immediately after that called Rage in the City. It was something like that. It's up on my stream platform, and there is a noticeable difference in mixing styles. It sounds like two different mixers, and it was the old interface with the Ex Machinas, and then I paired it with the new interface, and it's night and day. You can tell the difference between the two, and to me, once again, I don't have to monitor as loud because when I monitor low with the Ex Machinas, my bass response is still transparent. A lot of the other monitors I've used in the past have had or more of a bass dependent is dependent on the amplitude. With these, you can mix at low volumes, and the bass is still right there. The mids are still right there, and the highs are still right there. Nothing gets lost in the sauce. So my new records now, to me, they're just crisper. They're just more crisp.
Nice. Very cool. So are there any upcoming projects or collaborations that you could share with us?
Yes, there's a couple I can, and some I can't. So there is a project I'm working with Michael James, the producer. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Um,
Yep.
yeah. So me and Michael James are working on a good amount of music right now, and one in particular I'm super proud of. Then I have other projects that I am working with a couple of other artists. Uh, One out in California. Her name is Aisha. She's another artist. I can't say too much about that project, but that one is I'm really looking forward to that. And then I'm actually working on my instrumental album. Um, coming out very very soon. I want to say at the end of August it's going to be coming out.
Nice. So you like obviously I mentioned earlier in the interview that you do a YouTube channel for like gear reviews and stuff. What got you into doing that?
Um, what got me into it initially is wanting to help people because I would go on YouTube and sometimes I would know the answer for what I'm looking for, but I wanted to see what someone else would say. And sometimes in searching that, I would see that people were completely wrong and what the information they were giving people. And I was like, yo, that it doesn't work like that. That's wrong, you know? So it made me think like there's someone out there that was a 17-year-old me, an 18-year-old me that went to that person's channel and got some wrong information, and now they're going to apply that and think that that's correct. So I wanted to get on there and just basically give my opinion and say, hey, this is actually how this works, and this is why you want to do it this way. um, so once I did that, I realized I just kind of had a niche for it. Like I was pretty good at it. So I kept at it, not as consistent as I want to be, because I don't want to make videos just to make videos
Right.
to keep the algorithm going. Like when I have something to say, then I'll say it and I'll make a video about it. So that's the way I operate.
Nice. I mean, I think that's probably better, anyways, because I see sometimes with stuff online, people are just making content to make content. It sort of
Yeah.
starts to get a little like watered down and loose. It's kind of like integrity is not the word I'm looking for, but like genuine, like you know what I mean? Like just that sort of
Like
like
the authenticity of it. Like,
that's exactly, yeah, the authenticity exactly.
yeah.
So So yeah, that's cool. So lastly, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received in your career, and how has it shaped you as a engineer or producer?
Um, the best advice that I got in my career came at a moment, and I was very young, and I was doing like an internship at a studio, and one of the engineers gave me advice, and some people may see it as harsh, and it wasn't. So I'm sitting there, he's doing his mix, and he asked someone else a question about it, and I decided to give my opinion because I'm this young guy out of class. I know what I'm talking about. And there's a room full of people. He turns to me and says, "Hey, no one asked you your opinion. If you want to talk when no one's talking to you, you can leave the studio." And I was like, okay. Right. So, and the opinion that I gave was completely wrong, completely wrong after understanding signal flow and what he was trying to achieve with tape and things of that nature. So later that day, I'm cleaning up the studio, and he comes back in and he goes, "Hey man, we like you here, and I just want to teach you a lesson right now. Earlier when I said that, you got to understand, like, in this business, no one cares. No one cares until you make them care. So until you go out and you go be somebody, right? You have social proof, you pay your dues, be quiet and learn. Be quiet and learn,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes you're going to talk yourself right out of an opportunity and don't even know it." And
Mm-hmm.
that stuck with me. So to that point, I don't talk much. I just do, and I let my actions proceed me. And that was some of the best advice that I got. When you think everyone's thinking about you, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
When you think everyone's looking at you, they're not.
They're not.
Most people think
Right.
about themselves. They're not even thinking about you. So go ahead
Right.
and do what you were going to do anyways, because the only person that's going to stop you is you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good advice. That's good advice. I to uh, put a button on the point you made about, like, talking yourself out of an opportunity. Like, one of the best pieces of advice that I had ever gotten was, you have two ears and one mouth, and they should be used in as much frequency.
Mm, that part.
So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
so so well, so I guess, like, lastly, where can people find out more about you? Social media, website, etc.
Yeah. So, you want to find out more about me? You can search me on all platforms. TouchTone DSG. Instagram is touchtone_DSG. YouTube is TouchTone DSG. Spotify is TouchTone. The Sound God, which is DSG abbreviated. So the Sound God is DA space sound, and then God, GAW, and that's all one word. You can find me on my website, touchtonedsg.com. If you want to check out, like, my beats, I sell beats there all the time. If you want to get, like, mixes started, you can contact me there through that. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Well, that's awesome. I'll make sure to put all that in the description and stuff below. And on that, I really want to thank you for your time. This has been fun. So
My absolute pleasure. This is real fun.
cool. Well, I'll catch up with you soon. We got some stuff to talk about, but we can talk about that offline.
Sure.
But yeah, let follow up, and I'll catch up with you soon. And thank
All
you
right,
to everybody
brother.
for tuning in.
Thank you,
Take care,
guys.
man.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Anytime, anytime. We'll do this again.
All right.